internet, and today's video is going to be a book opinion. Those videos in which I tell you my opinion on a book. And today's book is going to be The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This was one of my favorite books of 2017. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this book. I had like an instinct that was like, you're probably going to like this book. Even though like I really didn't understand what the synopsis was about. But I liked the title, so I was like, oh, you're going to like it. And I ended up really loving it. So this is a book about a girl, and a couple years before this story starts, her sister was kidnapped, raped, and then killed. And now she's kind of ostracized and like left alone by herself. And we kind of figure out how she deals with this new environment she lives in, with this new reality she lives in, without her sister knowing all the horrible things that happen to her sister and happen to women on a regular basis, like often enough that we know about it. It's not an uncommon occurrence. So we hear the story from her perspective and just like how she takes in all of this darkness from the world. And then she ends up becoming friends with a boy who remembers her from the night her sister went missing and is a popular kid at school. And then we hear from a girl who's like the preacher's kid, so they usually just refer to her as PK. And these two people get really involved with this girl who just usually stays by herself and has never really been talked to since her sister's death. Her name is Alex. Now the three of them become friends. Alex ends up getting into a relationship with the boy, and we start to slowly uncover more about Alex's personality and kind of how she handles it, because the whole like sort of idea of this book is that females are the dangerous people or dangerous creatures in any species. They are the ones you need to watch out for. They are the ones that are going to bite and kick and fight back no matter what. And so that's what this book does. So this book does talk about rape. It does talk about being molested and like just being sexually advanced upon in ways that no one wants or asks for, and then how this girl reacts to them. And I like this book, okay? I really like this book because it feeds into that part of you that is just angry when horrible things happen to people who don't deserve it in any way. In any way. These people didn't ask for that. Like, yeah, sure, maybe they made one or two dumb decisions that could have prevented it, but they didn't ask for this horrible thing to happen. And then this just calls back into that vengeance part we all have, that we want terrible things to happen to people who do terrible things. Like that just like little part that's like, yes, you deserve it. You were a horrible, awful human being, and I don't forgive you, and you deserve to die horribly. Like that's how I feel about like a lot of people who do things that are mentioned in this book, that rape others, that abuse others in such ways, and just feeding, like, it just feeds into that part of you that just wants that vengeance. But it's not like directly saying, yes, it's good to go and harm others and enact vengeance or anything like that. But it's just like, you come to discover like all of us just have that little piece of us that's like, you deserve it, and we don't really care. But at the same time, we realize that we can't just go around murdering people or hurting people or like, yeah, you know? And it's like a two-way battle, because like I'm all for vengeance, okay? But I understand that I can't just go around hurting everyone who enact some wrong upon me. So it was nice to see Alex's point of view, but it was definitely a good thing that it had other characters in it that kind of humanized everything and didn't let you go down too far into this path of just vengeance all the way. Like this book for me was just, it was so beautifully done, and then it was just so heartbreaking, and it was a good kind of heartbreaking. Like it was something that I needed, and I was just like, yeah, like that's just, I can't put into words how I feel about this book without just explaining the whole book itself. But I definitely feel like if you're one of those people who just kind of have that piece of you that wants bad things to happen to bad people, then you're gonna like this book, and you're just gonna like connect to this book. But you also gotta kind of realize that we can't just do horrible things to horrible people without becoming sort of horrible ourselves. Like, it's a different level, in my opinion, of the kind of monster you become when you hunt down monsters, but that doesn't stop you from being a monster, right? Like, I like you more, right? I accept you and your monstrous ways. So Female of the Species was great. Was so great. And I liked that little reminder, that little proof that, like, females are probably the deadliest and more deadly than males. And I guess, like, we have phrases that tell you, like, a woman scorned. Like, you don't mess with women. You don't. Which, like, it really makes me laugh, because it's like, women are, like, for years were thought of, like, as submissive little creatures that, you know, just, and I'm pretty sure that was just put on by the patriarchy because they know we're more dangerous and more vengeful and more vicious. That was, like, that's how you control them, because you don't, like, you wrong a female, like, you may not survive the night. Like, if ain't mama happy, ain't no one happy, sort of ideal. So 5-star book. Definitely loved it. Like, I liked everything about it. I loved how it broke my heart. I loved how it just fed into that dark piece of me, but reminded me that, like, I sometimes need to be a better person, even if the people around me aren't that great. And I liked it. I liked it. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. So, if you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue to see more, click all those buttons down below, and goodbye, Internet.